Hello YouTube back with another package and pickles video. Recently my package and pickles video has been all over the place, you know, new consoles and just strange bits and bobs. But today, back to basics, back to the Sega Master System collection. I'd been very remiss over the summer now in terms of whittling down the numbers, but a few games have kind of come together in the last little while, so I figured we'll put together kind of a Master System package and pickles video. And best of all, one of them came all the way over from Australia, as this is a trade that I did with fellow YouTuber ElectricAdventures. Link down below, but if you check out my favourite channels, he's in there too. Great stuff. What I really enjoy about his channel is that if you were to actually look back through, you see how the videos evolve over time. You know, he tends to do pickups and gameplay in the same video, and it starts off with like recording direct from the TV, you know, the camera from TV, and now what you call it, capture and so on. It's, you know, the video have always evolved over time, and he's going for a full Master System set as well. Getting along there. I think he's up on about 170 games, I think. Maybe I'm mistaken, but moving along nicely. And on top of that, he's got a massive home computer collection. Probably got about 180 home computers too. So there you go. Good stuff. Anyway, we arranged a trade, and this is his package. Though I have to say, he got totally stifled on postage. From Australia to Ireland, it was $21.25. That's Australian dollars. So apologies for such steep shipping, and I will do something to. We'll sort something out for you to reimburse that, because Jesus Christ, my shipping did not cost that. So anyway, I've already popped it, so I can just get straight into it. Oh, and now I see he's put a note, and I forgot a note, and there's some Brucey bonuses. I forgot those too. So, Alan, thanks for agreeing to the trade. Hope you like the title, and it helps with your collection. Regards, Tony, aka ElectricAdventures. Indeed it does. It's actually a title that I've been gunning for quite a while, but tish, as you'll see in a minute. But before that, some cool little bonuses he threw in. Some Star Trek, well, actually no, sorry, Star Wars, and I've seen the back of Star Trek cards coming to your galaxy this summer. There's a Christmas Star Trek one, Star Wars, sorry, I always mix them up. Star Wars. There's Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine is actually one of my favourites. I know most people don't like it, but I always enjoy Deep Space Nine. There's a Happy Birthday one with C-3PO. These are actually pretty cool. I have no idea what these are from. Are these from kind of chewing gum type of sets that like you used to get over here, or are these separate collectible cards? Or Star Wars Galaxy is what they're called. 1993 Lucasfilm Topps Company. So they're Topps cards. That's what they are. They're a cool little edition. And like I say, to correct for that postage, I'll sort something out for you. And the game in question that I traded for was Wanted, and anyone who's seen Ninja Bear Hug's gameplay this will know, ooh, this is a toughie. It's a light gun game, and I might be mistaken, but I think this is my last one, which is why I've been looking for it. But it's one of the trickier light gun games to get. Pretty good game, albeit rock hard, and no surprises, packaged really nicely, and it's in great condition. Manual's backwards actually. There we go. Let's correct that. And the box has even got a wee willy winky. So there we go. That's another game down, and one that I was kind of struggling to get at a decent price. It's again kind of like games like Renegade, not remarkably rare, but just sometimes can escape your collection. And as you start to get down in numbers, you kind of refocus on them. So yeah, really pleased to get that. Great to do a trade with you, and thanks for the Brucey bonuses too. So yeah. But shipping to Ireland, my God, it's just insane. Insane! I mean, it cost me £4 to ship. So, yeah, it's a lot cheaper to send from me out to Australia than it was the other way around. So hopefully mine get there safely too, because this was super well packed, and we'll pop it up there. I don't know why I put it all back into the box. Because we take it out in the box later, I'll have a personal unpacking. Oh, such fun. So anyway, now we'll move on to the stuff that was from eBay largely. And this one here, I can't remember if I actually showed this in my past package video or not. It's been that long. But Shooting Gallery, which would have been another Lycon game. I was trying to knock them off, and I had gotten this one before ElectricAdventures had we'd agreed to trade there, so I knew that I was down to just the one. And yeah, this is another one that's a little uncommon, but you know, you kind of have to wait for the right price. Cartridge admission, I didn't, but cartridges cleaned and elsewhere. I was trying them out, so that's why it's empty. I didn't buy an empty box, but yeah, this cost, I think this cost about £2 or £3. It was something fairly low, and you don't see it come up all that often. So when you see it for that sort of price, well worth snagging. And it's actually fairly cool. If you look at the back there, you can see that the gallery is kind of like a stage, and as you shoot the scenery, you can see the kind of behind the stage, kind of a bit like Dynamite Heady. And apparently there's loads of different types of sessions and evolve. So it looks like a fairly decent Lycon game. It's 2 decent Lycon games in one package video. Great. So moving on. Now, the final 3 kind of came together, and there's a bit of a story behind it. Well, basically, I got a box full of Sega games. It must have been 40 or 60 games. And I bought this from a guy in England. Basically, he had an eBay shop, and he was closing it down because he was listing and not getting anywhere. So he said, well, I actually emailed him and said, look, I'm interested in a couple of your games. What would you do them shipped? And he says, well, I have this and this, and that's what they're shipped. But I'm also, you know, I do them all for, what's it, £50, including shipping to Ireland. So you could have the whole lot of 60 games for 50 quid. And I was like, ooh, I only need a couple of games, but that might help me with some spare boxes, and if there's, you know, there'd be duplicates, I could take the better one and so on. So I decided to go for the whole bundle, and I actually have pretty much sold on most of it, or replaced parts, and, you know, did the whole exchange and change boxes up and whatnot, and it helped out kind of tidy up a lot of the loose ends in the collection, which was good. And then I pretty much sold off a lot of the stuff to pretty much break even the outlay. And then I got a few new games out of it all too. So it was a bit of work, but it worked out. Now, first one, technically I already had this, and it's Bank Panic, which you would think, looking at the back shots, is a Lycon game, you know, the kind of the 3 targets and shoot them. Well, I don't think this is a Lycon game. At least it doesn't say it is. Yeah, I'm sure it isn't. It's also a Sega card game. But the version, I had this already, but the version was just terrible. Like, the back screenshots were not, you couldn't make them out, like the colours are just blur, you know, washed all together. So I actually did not count it in my collection, it was that bad. And it didn't have a manual. This one does have a manual, it's not in the best condition, but it'll do. And the funny thing is, I actually had a total of 3 copies of this, and this was the best I could make out of the 3 copies. The cartridge is fine, box is fine, insert's now fine, just the manual's a little rough, but there we go. 3rd time's the charm, sort of. That's another sort of Lycon game. You've got to be careful with these stacks. I actually had to take down part of a stack because it was like in over here on top of me. So next up then we have sort of an RPG. It's Heroes of the Lance, which is an advanced Dungeons and Dragons game. So there we go. And it's by US Gold, so you probably can't make out much in the back there. Very tight text. Cool front cover actually, all the, you know, the dragon and the lance kind of sums up the Dungeons and Dragons games. And other than the cartridge we're missing again, it's in pretty much perfect condition as well. Missing a hang tag, but sure, no worries. There was a sticker right there, like taking up the whole thing, and the insert had been slightly warped before I took it off, but I managed to get it off then with the glue gun. And it's looking pretty good, not too bad at all. You really wouldn't notice unless you're looking first. So this is another one, because it's an RPG, it goes for kind of like £6 or £7 or £8 at times. Bin men are always looking to try and get that or a little more, and it's like, I don't know if I'll ever get into this type of game, and I didn't want to spend that much on it, and you know, so I was kind of like, well, how much will it sell for me and get in the bundle? Super. that's another one out of the way. And then, finally, the last game, and a game that when I got the bundle and went through it, I realised I didn't have it. But it's one of those games that's so common, you would kind of think surely when you have the better part of 240 games for the system, you must have it. But that's what, and the game in question is World Grand Prix. And unfortunately, there's a little damage to the insert there. You can see where it's been pierced. Well, that's where the clip is on the inside, so that the chances of it being pierced there and there is where you usually see it occur. And this is a very early game, as you can tell by the back, and a very vanilla box. But I just missed it. The manual's okay. It's a little rough, not great. And the cartridge is fine, but again, it's away. So it was, other than that, it's kind of the only little nick that would annoy me. But how did I miss this? I just don't know. I looked at it and I went, I think this brings me down to either 20 or 21 games to go for the US/European set of games, and this has got to be one of the more common cheap games. Like if you paid more than 99p in an auction, that'd be surprising. It's just, I suppose because it was so common, I never actively went after it, and even when I got bundles, I just never happened to get it until I got this one in. So it ended up just being a late in the day game. But if only all the games left on my list were this common, that'd be great. They're not, sadly. So this, and actually because there was 2 American games left on my list, I know that this was definitely within the last 20 PAL games for me to find. Go figure, just goes to show you. So as we said, that brings it down to 20 or 21, which isn't looking too bad at all. And that was so that was 3 that I got as kind of like bonuses from doing up that bundle. And the other one from eBay, can't remember if I showed. And of course, Wanted, all the way from Oz. So that's 5 more titles, which for me these days is a big haul of Master System. 4 more of those hauls and we pretty much be done. Somehow I don't see that happening anytime soon. Yeah, so I guess that's pretty much it. I don't have any more Master System goodness to share, and nothing is in the post for Master System. Nothing is even in my watch list. It's going very dry on the Master System front. It could be a while before we do another Master System package video, or will it? Every time I say that, I ended up just contradicting myself. Anyway, I'm rambling as I always do at the end of these videos, so it's time to end it. Thanks as always for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll be back soon with another video.